You're sitting there, heart pounding against your ribs like it's trying to escape. And everyone's watching, everyone's waiting to see if you'll break. That moment when your boss publicly calls you out in the meeting, the emergency call at 3 a.m. that changes everything, the confrontation you didn't see coming, the betrayal that lands like a punch to the throat. And your body has its own plans. The heat rising up your neck, your hands starting to shake, that tightness in your chest that makes it hard to breathe, your mind racing through 1,000 responses, each one worse than the last. You wanted to stay calm. You told yourself you would. You practiced what you'd say, how you'd handle it. But when the moment arrived, when the pressure hit, everything you prepared just vanished. Instead, you felt it all slipping away. Your voice cracked when you needed it steady. Your mind went blank when you needed it sharp. Or worse, you exploded when you needed to be controlled, gave them exactly the reaction they were fishing for, and later, hours later, lying in bed, you replay it over and over. What you should have said, how you should have acted, the calm, composed response that came to you 6 hours too late. Why can't I just stay calm? You ask yourself, why does my body betray me like this? Here's what nobody tells you. That racing heart, those shaking hands, that overwhelming urge to fight or flee, that's not weakness. That's 200,000 years of evolution screaming at you that you're in danger. Your ancestors survived saber-toothed tigers because their bodies flooded with adrenaline and cortisol the second threat appeared. But here's the problem. Your body can't tell the difference between a tiger and a toxic boss, between a physical threat and a psychological one, between life or death and life as usual. So you're walking through modern life with an ancient alarm system that goes off at everything. Traffic cuts you off. Alarm, someone disrespects you. Alarm, a difficult conversation. Alarm, financial pressure. Alarm, relationship tension. Alarm, alarm, alarm. And each time that alarm goes off, you lose a piece of yourself, a piece of your power, your dignity, your self-respect. Because here's the brutal truth. The person who loses their calm, loses everything. They lose the argument. Even if they're right, they lose respect. Even if they're justified, they lose control. Even if they should have it, they lose a perception of strength. Even if they're the strongest person in the room. Think about it. When was the last time you saw someone explode, lose their composure, come unglued and thought, wow, that person really has it together? Never, right? You've seen the opposite though. You've seen the person who stays perfectly calm while chaos erupts around them. The one who speaks quietly while others shout, who moves slowly while others panic, who smiles slightly while others rage. And something about their unshakable calm made them seem dangerous, powerful, in control. That's what you want to be. That's who you know you could be. If you could just stay calm. But every time you try, every time you tell yourself, I'm going to stay calm this time, the moment arrives and your body has other plans and you're starting to wonder, is it even possible? Can someone really train themselves to stay calm when every cell in their body is screaming at them to react? The answer is yes, but not the way you've been trying, not through willpower alone, not through breathing exercises and positive affirmations, not through pretending the stress isn't real. There's an ancient method, a system developed by men who face pressures you, and I can barely imagine, who master calm not in peaceful gardens, but in war rooms, on battlefields, in the face of empires crumbling, personal betrayals, and their own mortality staring them in the face. They discovered something about the human mind that changes everything, something that makes calm not just possible, but inevitable. But before we get to that, you need to understand why everything you've tried so far has failed. Let me guess what you've already tried. Deep breathing, count to 10, think positive thoughts. Imagine a peaceful place. Tell yourself to just relax. And how's that working for you? Here's why it doesn't work. Here's the lie you've been sold. They told you stress is the enemy, that anxiety is a weakness, that your body's reaction is something to suppress, to fight against, to overcome through sheer mental force. So you try to push it down, bottle it up, pretend it wasn't happening. And what happened? It came back stronger. It built up like pressure in a dam until something small, something insignificant, made the whole thing burst. That's because you've been fighting a war you can't win. You've been trying to control the uncontrollable, your heart rate, your cortisol levels, your body's automatic stress response. These aren't things you can simply think away. They're hardwired into your nervous system, ancient survival mechanisms that don't care about your modern need to stay professional in a meeting. So you lose again and again, not because you're weak, but because you're fighting the wrong battle. Society taught you this lie, this idea that emotional control means emotional suppression, that being calm means feeling nothing, that strength is about holding everything in until you're a pressure cooker ready to explode. Look around. Look at the men society calls successful, the ones having heart attacks at 45, drinking themselves numb every night, snapping at their kids over nothing, destroying relationships because they never learn to actually process what they feel. They're calm on the outside until they're not, and when they break catastrophically. I've seen it. The executive who seems unshakable until one day he throws a phone across the office. The father who's always fine until he's screaming over spilled milk. The friend who never complains until suddenly he's gone, checked out completely. Or worse, that's not calm. That's a time bomb. Real calm, the kind that actually works, the kind that lasts, doesn't come from suppression. It comes from something else entirely. Something the ancient Stoics understood that modern psychology is only now beginning to grasp. But here's what happened. You kept trying the same failed methods because you thought the problem was you. You thought, I'm just not strong enough. I just need to try harder. Other people can do this. Why can't I? So you beat yourself up, added guilt and shame on top of stress, made it even harder to stay calm, created a vicious cycle where your failure to stay calm made you more anxious about staying calm, which made it even harder to stay calm. And meanwhile, every time you lose it, every time your composure cracks, you pay a price. The argument you lost because you got emotional, the opportunity that went to the guy who kept his cool, the respect that drained from your partner's eyes when they saw you panic, the self-respect that dies a little each time you break down. You start to not trust yourself. You avoid difficult situations because you don't know if you can handle them calmly. You say yes when you mean no because you're afraid of the conflict. You let people walk over you because confrontation might make you lose control. That's not living, that's survival mode. That's letting your inability to regulate your nervous system run your entire life. And here's the thing that really hurts. You know better, you're intelligent, you're capable, you've accomplished difficult things. But none of that matters when your body hijacks your brain and turns you into a reactive mess. The worst part, people can smell it. They can sense when someone's barely holding it together. When there's that underlying current of anxiety, that edge of desperation, that fragility masquerading as strength, and they exploit it. The toxic coworker who knows exactly which buttons to push, the manipulative ex who can still make you lose your composure with a single text, the family member who turns you into a reactive teenager no matter how old you get. They have power over you, not because they're stronger, but because you haven't learned to stay calm, truly calm, in their presence. So what's the alternative? What did the Stoics know that you don't? They understood something radical, something that flips the entire game. They realized that trying to control your emotions is the problem, not the solution. Close your eyes and picture this with me. It's 180 AD. Marcus Aurelius sits in his command tent, the most powerful man in the known world, Emperor of Rome, and he's staring at reports that would break most men. The Germanic tribes are pushing hard on the northern frontier. His armies are exhausted. The Antonine plague is devastating his troops, killing thousands back in Rome. His senators are plotting. His own wife, rumored to be conspiring against him. His son Commodus, showing signs of the madness that will one day destroy the empire. And in that tent, with the weight of the entire Roman world on his shoulders, he picks up his private journal and writes something that will echo through 2,000 years. You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. He wasn't writing philosophy. He was documenting his survival, because Marcus understood something that changes everything, something that most men never grasp. He understood that the battle for calm isn't fought in your circumstances. It's fought in your perception. The Stoics called it the dichotomy of control, but that sounds academic, sterile. Let me show you what it really means. Everything in your life falls into one of two categories: things you control and things you don't. That's it. That's the whole game. You don't control what people say about you, but you control how much weight you give their words. You don't control if you get fired, but you control how you respond. You don't control if she leaves, but you control if you fall apart. You don't control traffic, the weather, the economy, other people's opinions, your past, how you were raised, what happened yesterday. What do you control? Your thoughts, your interpretations, your responses, your actions, your character, your effort, your attention, where you direct your mind in this very moment. That's it. That's your kingdom. That's your empire. And here's where it gets interesting. Most men spend 90% of their mental energy trying to control things in that second category. The things they can't control. They rage at traffic. They try to change other people. They replay the past. They worry about the future. They desperately attempt to control the uncontrollable. And in doing so, they abandon the one thing they actually can control, their own mind. Epictetus, another Stoic master, understood this from a different angle. He wasn't born powerful like Marcus. He was born a slave. Literally, his master tortured him, twisted his legs so badly he walked with a limp for the rest of his life. And yet, Epictetus became one of history's most influential philosophers, teaching emperors and kings. Why? Because even in chains, he realized something profound. It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters. You can chain a man's body, but you can't chain his mind unless he lets you. You can take everything from someone, their freedom, their health, their loved ones, but you can't take their ability to choose their response unless they surrender it. And that's what you've been doing, surrendering, giving away the one thing that's truly yours. Your mental sovereignty, your inner calm. Every time you let traffic ruin your morning, every time you let someone's comment poison your day, every time you let circumstances dictate your emotional state, you're giving away your power voluntarily. Seneca, the third pillar of Stoicism, wealthy advisor to Emperor Nero, lived under constant threat. Nero was insane, paranoid, murderous. One wrong word could mean death. And eventually it did. Nero ordered Seneca to commit suicide. And you know what Seneca did? He stayed calm, comforted his friends who were weeping, chose how he would face death, maintained his composure until his last breath, not because he was emotionless, not because he didn't care, but because he had trained his mind so thoroughly that even facing execution, he maintained sovereignty over his inner state. These weren't weak men. They weren't suppressing their emotions. They were channeling them, transforming them, using them as information rather than letting them become dictators. The Stoic path isn't about becoming a robot. It's about becoming free. Free from the tyranny of your own reactions. Free from being a puppet dancing to external circumstances. Free to choose calm, even when everything around you is chaos. But here's what they also understood. This isn't theory. This isn't something you understand intellectually and then magically possess. This is training. This is practice. This is building mental calluses through repeated exposure and conscious response. Marcus didn't just understand this philosophy. He practiced it daily, in his journal, in his decisions, in how he responded to betrayal, to loss, to pressure every single day. Training his mind like an athlete trains their body. So, how do you actually do this? How do you take ancient philosophy and turn it into modern calm? Here's your roadmap. 4 levels, each building on the last, each training a specific part of your mental architecture. Level 1, the observer. Right now, your thoughts control you. They appear and you believe them. You feel anxious. You think you are anxious. You feel angry. You think you are angry. But here's the shift. You are not your thoughts. You're the one observing them. Start here. When stress hits, when that familiar tension starts rising, don't fight it. Don't try to suppress it. Instead, notice it like a scientist observing an experiment. There's that chest tightness again. Not, my chest is tight, but there's chest tightness. See the difference? You're creating space. You're stepping back from the reaction. There's an angry thought. There's anxiety appearing. There's the urge to react defensively. Do this everywhere. In traffic, there's frustration arising. In the argument, there's a desire to be right. In the stressful meeting, there's fear of judgment appearing. Practice this for 2 weeks. Just this, just observing, not changing anything, not controlling anything, just watching your mind like you'd watch weather passing through. You'll notice something strange. The second you observe a thought or emotion, it loses some of its power. The simple act of witnessing it creates distance, and in that distance, there's freedom. Level 2, the gap. Now you're aware. You can see your reactions forming. This is where real power begins. Between every stimulus and response, there's a gap. Tiny, almost invisible, but it's there. And in that gap lives your freedom. Someone insults you. Stimulus, before you respond. Gap, then response. Most people never see the gap. They go straight from stimulus to reaction. Instant, automatic, like a reflex. Someone pushes their button and they react. No choice, no awareness, just pure reaction. But you're training to catch that gap, to expand it, to live in it. Here's how. When you notice a strong emotion arising, pause, literally, for 3 seconds. Don't respond. Don't react. Just pause. 3 seconds. That's it. Not an hour. Not even a minute. Just 3 heartbeats of space between what happened and what you do about it. In those 3 seconds, breathe. 1 deep breath. Not because breathing is magical, but because it's impossible to take a deep breath and remain in pure reaction mode. The breath forces a gap open. Practice this constantly. Every small irritation, every minor stress. 3-second gap. Just pause, breathe, then respond. Your co-worker says something annoying. 3 seconds. Then you reply. Someone cuts you off in traffic. 3 seconds. Then you react. Your partner makes that comment that usually sets you off. 3 seconds. Then you engage. What happens in those 3 seconds? Your prefrontal cortex comes back online. The thinking part of your brain, the part that makes conscious choices. It was offline during the initial reaction, but 3 seconds, that's enough time for it to boot back up. Level 3, the reframe. Now you're observing. You're creating space. Time to change how you see what's happening. This is where Stoicism becomes a weapon. Every negative situation is actually neutral until you judge it, until you give it meaning. Someone disrespects you. That's just sound waves hitting your eardrum or pixels on a screen. It only becomes disrespect when you interpret it that way. And it only becomes something that ruins your day when you decide it does. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Choose not to be harmed, and you won't feel harmed. Don't feel harmed, and you haven't been." This isn't denial. This isn't pretending bad things don't happen. This is choosing which things get to rent space in your head. Choosing which events get to dictate your internal state. Traffic makes you late. Reframe, I don't control traffic. I do control how I use this time. I can listen to something valuable, or I can poison myself with rage. My choice. Someone betrays you. Reframe, they revealed their character. They did me a favor. Now I know. Now I can make informed decisions. Boss publicly criticizes you. Reframe, they're testing my composure. Everyone's watching how I handle this. This is where I demonstrate my caliber. The reframe isn't about positive thinking. It's about accurate thinking. It's about seeing the full picture, not just the part that triggers you. Practice this daily. Take one stressful situation per day. Write it down, then write 3 different ways to interpret it, 3 different lenses, 3 different meanings you could choose to assign. You'll discover something powerful. The situation doesn't change, but your experience of it transforms completely. Level 4, the embodiment. Now you're ready for the deepest level. This is where you stop trying to be calm and start being calm, naturally, automatically, as your default state. This is about identity, about who you are, not what you do. You're no longer someone trying to stay calm. You are the calm one, the unshakable one, the one who doesn't break. How do you build this identity? Through repetition, through practice, through keeping promises to yourself. Every time you choose observation over reaction, every time you pause instead of exploding, every time you reframe instead of ruminating, you're casting a vote for your new identity. Do this enough times, and something shifts. Calm stops being something you do and starts being who you are. People notice it. They comment on it. How are you so calm? Why doesn't anything bother you? How do you stay so composed? And here's the beautiful part. You're not faking it. You're not suppressing. You've genuinely trained your mind to default to calm, the way an athlete's body defaults to proper form after years of training. This is a level Marcus Aurelius operated from. This is why Epictetus could be tortured and remain internally free. This is how Seneca could face death with equanimity. They weren't special. They were trained, and you can train yourself the same way. Imagine 6 months from now, you walk into the meeting, the one that used to make your palms sweat, the one where you'd rehearse what to say 20 times, the one where your voice would shake and your mind would go blank. But now you're different. You sit down, relax, alert but not anxious. Someone attacks your idea, challenges you aggressively in front of everyone, and you feel it, that familiar sensation starting to rise, the old reaction trying to activate, but instead of taking over, it just passes through like a wave washing over a rock. The rock doesn't fight the wave, doesn't resist it, doesn't try to stop it. The rock just is, and the wave passes. You pause, 3 seconds, you breathe, you observe. There's defensiveness arising, and in that observation, it dissolves. You respond, clearly, calmly, thoughtfully, not because you're suppressing anger, but because you genuinely see the situation accurately. They're not your enemy. They're stressed. They're scared. They're projecting. And none of that has to disturb your inner state. Your response is measured, dignified, powerful in its restraint. And everyone notices, not your anxiety, not your defensiveness, not your weakness, but your unshakable calm, your presence, your strength. That's the new you. That's what becomes possible when you train your mind. Imagine your relationships, no longer walking on eggshells, no longer exploding over small things, no longer creating drama because you can't regulate your own nervous system. Your partner says something triggering, and instead of the usual fight, instead of the defensive reaction, instead of 3 days of tension, you pause, you observe, you choose, you respond with clarity instead of chaos. You speak your truth without anger. You maintain your dignity while expressing your needs, and the entire dynamic shifts because you're no longer bringing chaos. You're bringing calm, and calm is contagious. Imagine your career no longer ruled by anxiety, no longer making decisions from fear, no longer avoiding difficult conversations because you don't trust yourself to stay composed. You handle pressure like a fighter who's been in the ring 1,000 times. Not stressed, just alert, not anxious, just focused, not reactive, just responsive. People start to see you differently. They give you more responsibility, more trust, more respect, not because you're the loudest, not because you're the most aggressive, but because you're the one who doesn't break, the one who could be counted on, the one who stays calm when everyone else is losing their minds. This is what the Stoics built. This is the legacy they left us. Not academic philosophy, not intellectual theory, but a practical system for remaining unshakable in an unpredictable world. Marcus Aurelius maintained a composure while an empire crumbled. Epictetus found freedom while wearing chains. Seneca faced death with dignity, not because they were born special, but because they trained daily, relentlessly, with the same discipline you're about to bring to your own mind. But here's what matters most. This isn't about them. This is about you. Right now, this moment, this choice, because everything I just described, the calm meeting, the healthy relationship, the powerful presence, the unshakable mind, that's not fantasy. That's what's available to you right now, today, with the next decision you make. The next time stress hits, will you react the old way? Or will you pause? Will you observe? Will you choose? The next time someone tries to disturb your peace, will you give them that power? Or will you remember you control your mind, not outside events? The next time chaos erupts around you, will you add to it? Or will you be the calm in the center of the storm? Every single moment is training. Every situation is practice. Every challenge is an opportunity to cast a vote for who you're becoming. You're not trying to stay calm anymore. You're not hoping you can handle it. You're not wishing you were stronger. You're training deliberately, systematically, the same way those ancient philosophers trained, building mental fortitude that nothing can shake. And 6 months from now, when someone asks you how you stay so calm, you'll smile because you'll know the truth. It's not luck. It's not genetics. It's not some natural gift. It's training. It's practice. It's the ancient Stoic path, applied daily, moment by moment, choice by choice. This is your invitation to join the lineage, to walk the path that Marcus walked, that Epictetus walked, that Seneca walked, the path that transforms ordinary men into unshakable forces, the path that makes you immune to chaos, impervious to drama, unbreakable in crisis. The question isn't whether you can do this. You can. The question is, will you? Will you start today? Right now? This moment? Because everything changes the moment you decide that no person, no circumstance, no event gets to disturb your inner calm ever again. Welcome to the path. Welcome to the training. Welcome to the ancient way of becoming unshakable